How to 301 redirect using PHP in WordPress content management system. In this video session, I'm going to show you how you can use PHP to send out 301 moved permanently header response code using PHP for WordPress. Okay. When you're logged into your web hosting account, wherever your WordPress is installed, we need to browse into that folder. It's usually located within File Manager. Then it's within WP-content. In there you have Themes folder, and in there you'll have the current theme that you're using. To use your WordPress dashboard, you can look at Appearance, press on Themes, and look at active theme that you're using. Each WordPress theme has a template file called header.php. You should right click and download to your local computer before you make edits. Just in case something goes wrong, you can always upload back the downloaded version. Then it's just a matter of right click, press on edit. To be able to insert PHP 301 redirection, we need to use certain codes. Header.php file by default should have PHP code block here that's commented out. That's actually a perfect place for us to insert our 301 response codes. And how do we do that? There are various different ways we can use PHP 301 redirection. Now I'm going to show you some sample codes that I made on my local computer. So first, this PHP block we can simply copy, that's as an example, and just grab this PHP code and remove that. We can do that. And that's also PHP. Okay. And then in this example, okay, I'll just show you this example. Yeah. If I was to place this PHP 301 redirection code, what will happen is when someone visits my website, they will be redirected to the example domain that I've placed here. You would actually only use this if you're making a site move, as in address move, because this will redirect everything: web pages, blog posts, images, anything that's requested on this site, it'll be redirected using PHP version. Okay, so this is raw PHP 301 redirection. This code can be used on any content management system, not necessarily WordPress. But WordPress also has WordPress specific redirection rules, and I will show you them in a second as well. Now in this example, we're using HTTP version 1, but I could easily be using HTTP version 2. How do you find that out? You can find that out using Web Developer Toolbar, press on F12, and then go to Network tab, and then request the URL in question. It's in your website. Here, you will be able to see the protocol that is being used on your website. In my example, it's HTTP version 2. That means I could easily use this, okay? So I'm covering many different angles because your setup may be different. So that's one example. So I'm going to revert to my local copy because it's color coded and it'll make more clear sense to us. Remember the file we're editing, header.php file. Anytime I update things here, I need to save it for the changes to take effect, okay? So let's move on and let's look at this example. This is a shorthand format PHP version. So I could have easily placed this code in that header.php file and it'll basically do the same thing. It'll redirect every request to the new address that I've specified in the location field here. So let's move on. Since we're talking about WordPress, what if you wanted to update a certain page but use PHP 3.01? Let's imagine the page that you wanted to redirect was contact, and then you wanted to say, okay, you know what, here's a new contact page is in URL. So then you would follow this option and you would place this file within the header.php file, same location, as in it has to be the first rule above the doc type. Now let's take a look at this particular built-in function. This function wp underscore redirect will actually do the same thing. This is WordPress specific file. Let's imagine I wanted to redirect a particular page. Then I would use this format here. Once again, this example that I'm highlighting will redirect everything. And yet if I want to redirect a particular page to its new counterpart using built-in WordPress function, then I would use this format here. So basically I would do something like this. Okay. What we're saying is if his page, whatever the page name, redirect 3.01 to a new page. And you would change the example to match your domain. So let's move on. Let's take a look at another one. What if you wanted to redirect a blog post? For WordPress, blog posts are different compared to pages. You can call them through is underscore single function. And this is the redirection for blog post. Okay. Now let's take a look at another example. Here we're still using the WordPress is page, getting an old page and redirecting to new page. But we're not using WordPress specific wp underscore redirect function. We're just using the good old PHP 3.01 here. Okay. So for HTTP2, then I would then do this for HTTP. And for blog posts, this is what we would do. We would say if it's single, let's say old blog post URL, use the PHP redirection and then redirect to new location. So as you can see, there are many different ways that you can use 3.01 for WordPress. While here, let me also show you another example. Let's imagine you want to redirect an entire category. Then you say is category. You can use that type of a, let's say, sample category name. You could do that. Or there is another function called if in underscore category. So these are conditional WordPress logic. There are many different ones. I'll show you some samples here. You can redirect if it's author, particular author. If it's database redirections you want to use, perhaps you would use is date 2021 redirect to 2022 and so on. So simply Google around looking for specific WordPress conditional logic, because you can do a lot of things in terms of how you can access certain parts of WordPress. At the end of the day, this is how you utilize PHP 3.1 redirection settings for WordPress. Once again, you have to add it header.php file and then save changes. If something goes wrong once you make the changes, then you can always revert back by uploading your backup. Also, it's wise to check through the network tab once you fulfill the 3.1 rules, and then request the pages that you have redirected to see the status code using network tab on Google Web Developer Toolbar, making sure that you're seeing 3.1, so that means everything is working correctly. I thank you very much for learning with RankYa, and I'll talk with you in the next video session.